I love Battle Beast. This is the funnest, most interesting, and exciting and joyful comic I've read in decades in terms of something that's new. It's all subjective. We can all have different opinions, but I don't know how anybody that reads superhero comics could not read this and not come out of it just loving it. It's so fun. I've covered every issue, and every time they just keep finding a way to make something, take the concept and make it a little bit more different, a little more interesting, add a little bit more depth to the characters in a way that I didn't think would be possible. Battle Beast comes across as a kind of a brainless monster who just wants to fight, and he could be easily a one-trick pony, and there's nothing there. That's what it could seem like, but it is not that simple. And they keep finding ways to make the character interesting. I just freaking love it. Now, the basic premise, I'm not going to go over 9 issues worth of basic premises. Go back and watch them. Go buy the books first. But Battle Beast wants to die in honorable combat. He wants somebody to slaughter him because he can't find anybody that can beat him. He's so big, he's so tough. He wants to die giving it his all and have somebody actually defeat him. And so he ended up on this planet and facing off against these 2 giant monstrous creatures, the Juggernaut and the Colossus of the MCU. That is 100% what they're called. Go back and watch the other videos. And so Battle Beast defeated the Juggernaut, which is the brother. It's a brother and sister, the bad guys. And now he's facing off against the Colossus. And the last issue ended with this glorious, giant, beautiful splash page of the evil monster facing off against Battle Beast. And they were about to have their big final confrontation. I wasn't going to dig it out and show it, but now I just kind of feel like I need to. So bear with me. Oh, there it is. Great. I was going to say you might have to wait for me to dig it up, but I knew it wasn't too far. Right here, issue 8. After the big battle they were having at the end, we had this great splash page of the Colossus. Now this is a she. She's been stabbed multiple times with this sword. This sword has the ability where if you stab it into something or whatever and break it off, it reforms itself. And so this creature has multiple stab wounds of this thing through her body, which is what was shown on these previous pages. Battle Beast just kept stabbing it into her and twisting it, breaking it off. Stab, break, stab, break, stab, break. Ending with this great big awesome shot. Battle Beast sword reforms. He's like, come on. Because she says, is that all you got? And he says, no, it is most certainly not. Like, let's go. And then they have tough guy dialogue at the end. She says, this fight is only beginning. You face the Juggernaut of MCU. This land will quake and its people will cower until one of us is dead. And Battle Beast just says, perfect. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to have the greatest fight. This is going to be incredible. I cannot wait to see how this goes. Which is where we pick up in issue 9 here. The Battle Beast says, if you truly are powerful enough to give me the worthy death I desire, step forward. I am eager to receive it. She says, a worthy death? Ha! After what you've done to my brother, you will experience 1,000 deaths. I will peel the skin from your body and drink your blood to the last drop, and then allow you to heal so that I may prolong your life. I will do this until you beg for any death. The thought of any worthiness within you will be long forgotten. Every waking thought will only be pain and suffering. And Battle Beast don't give a fuck. He says, I care not about pain or suffering. Any death brought about by a capable opponent will be worthy. I do not fear you or the savage butchery you have in store for me. I say again, step forward. He's like, stop talking, let's go. And so the Colossus says, very well, then let our final battle, takes a step forward and just falls dead in front of him. I didn't see that coming anywhere, and I think it's brilliant. I love it. And it, Otley took that last splash page of them standing there and then just had the next moment. I'm wondering if he it looks like, I'm going to say he, I wonder if he drew the background elements separate and then drew the figures separate and then put them together in the final image. And then, because then in this thing, he can just copy paste the background and then just draw the figures up front. Because these are copy paste. This is not a redraw. And I've seen Otley talk about, he's like there's a castle in the background on this planet that he's drawn. And he's like, I reused that castle shot. Why would I want to redraw that same castle for just an establishing shot scene? Why would I redraw that over and over and over when it's just a small panel just to establish location? He's like, I'm just going to do that. So I could see him doing the same thing here. It is interesting because like there's all these blood elements and stuff like that. And it's like just seconds later, this shot there and this shot there. He's standing and then she falls. His sword kind of leans in. Fascinating. Very cool. And Otley is he's an image superstar. He's up there with he's like one of the modern versions of, we had Jim, Todd, Rob, and all those guys, right? To me, Otley's one of the current superstar badasses. And this is just epic. I love it. And that shot of the creature there falling face down, all the little sword fragments sticking out of it. Looks so cool. Frickin' love it. So we cut over. There's this awesome low angle shot looking up. Battle Beast in shadow. Let me bring it up close. Just his little beady little eyes looking. And he just says, disappointing. You were not a worthy opponent. So he walks up to the body, pulls out one of the shards. And I was a little unclear. No, I guess I wasn't. At first, I was a little unclear. I had to think about it. But he comes down here and starts cutting a chunk of meat off this thing, rips off this big, flank steak or something off the body, and is holding it. And then some of the other characters, this is a alien creature that he ran into back in issue 2 or so. And a robot AI, these are characters that exist. Again, I'm not going to explain who they are. Go back and read the previous issues. But they all show up and they're like, holy shit. No one thought that these two monsters would ever be defeated, and Battle Beast did it. Kicked their asses. It took everything he had, but he did it. And so this is Prince Salaka. He's like, Battle Beast, you did it. You saved Fantania. My kingdom will be restored. And then the robot AI is like, bummer, because this AI thing wants Battle Beast dead. Wants him dead. And again, it explains it in previous issues as to why. And then there's this other character who has been introduced. So we were going to help, but no need now. And Battle Beast just stands there silent, covered in blood. And Prince Salaka, he's like, can you find no joy in what you accomplished? And the AI robot says, he's alive, so he's unhappy, and you act like you know him. So the AI robot is saying, do you not listen to what Battle Beast says? He wants to die fighting these things. And he just beat him, so he's unhappy. Listen to who he says he is. And so Battle Beast holds up that piece of meat that he cut from the monster. He says, I said I would set aside a piece for you to savor. And then this creature, he's like, I savor it, I will. Battle Beast says, the rest is mine. And then Salaka's like, so, who's ready to celebrate? Because this planet has been enslaved by these monsters for centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years. I want to say 1,000 years, maybe. I might be remembering that number wrong. But these monsters are defeated. This is a big deal. And we get this. I flipped this and I was like, holy shit. This could be why does Rob think this is so amazing? It's just like a landscape shot with fireworks in the sky. But I gotta say, there's something about this shot that I've been reading comics since I was 12 or 13. I'm 49 now. I've never seen anything quite like this. And I think, it's the composition that Otley took. He draws that big castle. You got all these people here. They're celebrating. They're in tattered clothes. This is the ancient ruins of this civilization that's been subjugated for centuries. And so the buildings are kind of in poor shape. They're not, they haven't been upkept. But they're firing fireworks into the sky. They're celebrating. And I gotta say, this is probably all the colorist. I don't imagine Otley's in here drawing these in. I bet he just drew this shot and handed over to that amazing colorist, Annalisa Leone. I've mentioned this every time, her work on this and the work on Skinbreaker. She's my new favorite colorist. Fantastic. But this coloring on the fireworks, it's perfect. These bursts there, some of them are like, you can see they're bursting fresh, and some of them have already popped and they're arcing down. Multiple colors. Like, it feels like a really true and honest celebration. And you know what I love? You know, I say this, not one fucking word on the page. Not one word. It doesn't need it. You get it. This culture, these people have been saved by Battle Beast, this monster who doesn't care about anything except fighting and dying. He doesn't want to save them. He doesn't want to help them. He doesn't care. But he kind of gave his word to Prince Salaka, and he did what he said he would do, but it's more like those goals just kind of coincided with Battle Beast's own for the moment. But the upside is that the planet is free, and what a great celebratory shot. That's one of my favorite double page spreads I've ever seen. And it's just, again, landscape of an alien city and fireworks, because it works so well with the narrative. Cut to, obviously, some time has passed. Sun's out, and they're rebuilding. You can see old structures being touched up and added with new structure. Old brick and decrepit buildings with new material. Straight, fresh, angular, new stuff. Like this stuff over here, all these things being added to the old. It looks like even trees are growing more lush, maybe. Got these floating kind of blimp things to lower parts down to fix the building. These guys are up here cutting overgrowth brush down. Like, all this great stuff. And you got this one character with this look of joy in his face. Just like, our culture is saved. We are rebuilding. We're back. And so, you know, I got to say, at this point, I'm sitting here reading this and I'm going, something bad's about to fucking happen. Now, that is not a spoiler. That is not me alluding to because I have read this. I do know what's coming up. But I'm telling you what I thought when I read this the first time about 2 hours ago when I bought it. I'm like, there's too much good going on. This is too joyful. Something's got to fuck it up. Am I going to be right? I don't know. These are comic books. It's all drama. Cut to more scenes of the planet being rebuilt, and we're with Prince Salaka and then this other female character. I can't remember if she's been introduced already. She may have, she may not. I'm not for sure. But Prince Salaka, the guy who befriended Battle Beast, he's like, heavy hangs the head that wears the crown, am I right? Who knew ruling would be so much work? Which I'm kind of like, for the first time, I feel like the prince here, who we've kind of had sympathy for, is he going back to being kind of a douchebag, like egotistical ruler? Not so sure. Girl shows up. She's basically like, hey, with the reconstruction of this region underway, we should actually start paying attention to, there's tons of other cities out there on our planet that have big populations that warrant assistance. We can't just focus on the capital. He's like, yeah, I agree, but we can't focus all our efforts on the capital. He's like, wait a minute. Who are you? She says, I am Povina, the unyielding leader of the Fantanian resistance. I took over after my father, after he was eaten. I mounted an effort in the north to kill the Juggernaut and retake the city, but then you returned. I marveled at the abilities of you and your friends, my king. And Salaka's like, I don't know. It kind of feels like you were hoping to be the ruler of this newly freed Fantania before I came along and got in your way. Should I be worried about you? She says, me? Of course not. I would never deny your birthright. I am loyal only to you, my king. And he leans in. He's like, there's that pause again. And they kind of like are giving each other the stink eye. And there's this really interesting kind of like dot thing, eye to eye. Like they're just eyeing each other. That's really specific and interesting that they did that. I imagine that has to be a note from Kirkman to Otley, like, do this. We want to emphasize that there's something going on there. And Salaka's like, do know that if you betray me, I won't hesitate to take your life. She says, I assure you, I am well aware. He's like, good. She says, excellent. He says, lovely meeting you, Povina. He's like, likewise, King Salaka. I'm like, oh, God. There's going to be drama here of some type. Cut to Battle Beast sitting in a throne chair, eating God knows what, probably the monster that he just killed. And great shot. Love that muscular arm. Look at that big, thick, beefy arm. Looks great. But he says, I am leaving. And Salaka's like, well, wait, you can't. I don't believe I've fully won the people over yet. I need time. I've got at least one I'm certain will kill me the moment you're gone. Or at least try to, but she'll probably succeed. So obviously we're alluding to that previous scene. Battle Beast says, this is no concern of mine. And Salaka says, well, really? We're back to this? I thought we were friends for real. And Battle Beast pauses and he says, we are. And I thought that was, again, one of these little moments about this character that I found really interesting. Battle Beast don't care about anything, but the way it's being portrayed, he does feel like he is friends with this guy. He's actually saying it. Like, Battle Beast has no pretensions that I've ever noticed. He's like, I'm going to do what I want, and because no one can stop him, so he doesn't need to lie or misdirect. So for him to basically admit that we are friends, I'm like, that's really interesting. Is this little fucking goblin guy going to betray Battle Beast and we're going to be sympathetic towards Mr. Battle Beast? I don't know. But that's what I was thinking as I read it. Battle Beast continues, though, but I have my own matters to attend to. I can't remain on this planet, abandoning my mission simply to ensure your survival. And Salaka's like, your mission to die? And Battle Beast says, yeah. And Salaka goes up the stairs. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm just never going to get used to that, no matter how hard I try. Nope, it's never going to be normal. And Battle Beast just sits at his table and continues to eat. He's a very single-minded guy. So, cut to a little bit time later, and there is this weapon or some kind of mechanical device. And I think I understand what it's supposed to be, but it was a little bit uncertain. But there's this giant machine. And so they do get into some of the realities of this planet that's been under occupation by those monsters for centuries. Battle Beast is saying, if this is another one of your plans, computer, I do not find it amusing, referring to the fact that this computer creature who chose the name for itself as Zula in the, I think it was the last issue or the one before that. But this computer thing wants to kill Battle Beast because Battle Beast killed its living crew. This computer thing used to be the AI computer of a spaceship. And Battle Beast took over the spaceship, slaughtered the crew, and the AI wants to kill Battle Beast, and the AI program was downloaded a couple of times and is now in this robot suit. And I'm like, oh, this AI thing, it can walk freely. It has like the ability to walk and talk and touch. It's not just a program locked in a ship's hard drive. I'm like, oh God, this computer thing is going to be a problem. And again, I'm not giving away any spoilers. I'm just thinking about what I thought as I read it. But the computer program, Zula, says, please, my name is Zula. The Fantanians lost their space flight capabilities long ago. It's a wonder their airships still work, to be honest. I can, within a year, help them construct some sort of rudimentary vessel. Once it is in operation, it can bring back materials to make something more advanced. But long-distance space travel? Years away. So hitching a ride on a cosmic nail is your best bet off the planet. So I think this is a reference to the things that had one of the monster, the Juggernaut monster trapped in the first issue. If I understand it correctly, this is some kind of like energy railgun weapon thing that you mount these big things inside it and put a thing inside this thing and it'll fire it into space, and it's just a projectile traveling the cosmos going God knows where. And they're like, we're not going to have interplanetary vessels for a long time, my dude. So if you want off this planet, we could fire you off into one of these containers, and that's just the best way to get you off the planet as quick as possible. And Battle Beast is looking at it going, huh. And so the AI computer says, lucky for you, they've already devoted the resources to casting one around the combined remains of Juggernaut and Colossus, the parts you haven't eaten. They don't want to risk them somehow coming back. Well, I'm like, well, that's an interesting story element because those monsters, they can hyper regenerate. They're like, even though we're certain they're dead, we don't want to take any chances. We're going to eject their corpses off the planet. Just get it gone. The AI continues saying, I talked them out of collecting your stool, meaning like, you know, you've eaten these monsters and then you shit their remains out. And he's like, they were even going to collect up your shit. But the AI says that should be ready for launch in about a month. Salaka says, come on, if you're really going to choose to be, you're really going to choose to be adrift in space over staying here and helping us restore Fantanio to its former glory, think of the good you can do. And Battle Beast just keeps looking. And Salaka says, are you thinking? Is he thinking? And the AI says, maybe. Honestly, I'm always worried that he's going to eat you at any moment. And Salaka's like, he would never. Battle Beast says, the nail will be cast in less than a month. I will depart then. The AI says to Salaka, he says, what did you expect? He is what he is. And Salaka says, yeah, I'm afraid you're right. They're just kind of coming to the understanding that Battle Beast is just, he's single-minded. He wants to get off this planet. He doesn't want to sit around doing nothing. So if this thing's going to be ready in a month, when it's ready, fire me off. I want to get out of here. It's time to move on. Again, another shot of the city. Time has passed. There's Battle Beast. He's pissed off. He's like, why have you summoned me? Is the cosmic nail ready for my departure? Too long have I gone without a battle. A tempest of fury builds within me. Every ounce of my willpower holds it at bay. While it would be unsatisfying, it would take very little to instigate me into ending your life. And Salaka's like, whoa, slow down there, buddy. I just wanted to talk, and you're a hard man to find. I had a proposition for you, one you might enjoy, something to keep you occupied. Take a walk with me. I don't expect you to appreciate it, but the new rebuilt courtyards are simply lovely. So Battle Beast is like, lead the way. So they're out in the courtyards. It's really pretty. And Salaka says, now that the capital of Fantania has been fully restored, efforts are being made to restore civilizations in other regions of the planet. The problem is, those regions come with their own problems. Nothing as powerful as the Juggernaut, but my planet has become home to a number of large and very dangerous creatures. And Battle Beast is like, creatures? And Salaka is like, I see I have your attention. Yes, some large, some very large, similar to the creature that crashed our ship when we first arrived here. The planet is overrun. It's slowing our rebuilding efforts considerably. There is still some time before the cosmic nail will be ready to launch. Not much, but more than enough. So basically he's like, hey, there's monsters out there. Since you're not launching quite yet, maybe you'd help us clear off some of these giant monsters and it'll help satisfy your urge to kill. And Battle Beast cuts him off. He says, I will do it. I will rid your world of these creatures happily. Any break from this unending boredom will be most welcome. I need only for you to point me in the right, and then you stop and you see a reflection of a body in Salaka's eyes. And they both look up and see, and there is Conquest from the Invincible Universe. Conquest. If you've watched the animated show, if you've read the comic, you know who he is. They've hinted that he's been coming. He's floating there. He says, stand ready for my arrival, worm. And I am pretty certain that this is kind of like a homage pose to the original introduction of Conquest in the Invincible comic. I'm fairly certain that this is kind of like similar pose and composition and positioning. But Conquest, this is a big deal. We all know how strong the Viltrumites are, and we know how strong he is. But he says, stand ready for my arrival, worm. And Battle Beast says, tell me, which one of us are you referring to as worm? And Conquest, he's like, I like you already. Salaka says, I am King Salaka of the Fantanian Empire. You are not to address me without written invitation. That is our custom. We certainly don't allow ourselves to be addressed as worms. Conquest says, please, before things get too out of hand, allow me to introduce myself. I am Conquest. I am here on your planet to represent the Viltrum Empire. We are a vast and powerful empire who have taken notice of your world and may be interested in adding you to our ranks. It would appear my information is faulty. We were told this world was under the control of two very powerful beings from the fabled land of MCU. Tell me, where are the Juggernaut and the Colossus? Great low-angle shot looking up, the sun behind him casting the shadows. Really, really cool. Otley is brilliant. Battle Beast just says, both dead by my hand. I ate them. And Conquest says, how interesting. And oh my God, holy shit, cliffhanger. You know these two are going to fight. Now here's the thing. Both of these characters show up. This is set way early in the Invincible Universe comic book run. So both of these characters show up later. So just logically, they're both, if they fight, they both live. But are they going to fight? Is it going to be a horrible, violent thing? At this point, it almost seems like having these two fight would almost be too easy. Yes, Battle Beast wants to die. Yes, Conquest could probably do it, but considering how tough Battle Beast is, he could potentially defeat Conquest. I mean, Mark Grayson, Invincible, he beat Conquest. So, again, this is not a spoiler. I don't know what's going to happen, but I almost think it would be too easy for them to fight. I could almost imagine them just not fighting, talking, having like a battle of wits, or I don't know. Part of me thinks it would be more interesting for them to not fight. What if they actually became friends? I think about that. We expect a fight, but maybe we don't do what's expected. I don't know. And if they do fight, I bet it'll be awesome because Otley's a genius and he knows what he's doing. So, very cool. Again, these books are over way too fast. You could say that the stories are kind of light in that there's not a lot in it, but everything that's in there is important and direct and specific, and it lets you know everything you'd need to. It's constantly set up, but all the setup is eventually paid off. It's brilliant. I love it. And to kind of go along with what I was saying about the potential fight between Battle Beast and Conquest, look, they're just sitting at a table, staring each other down, eating. What if that's all it is? What if it's a food challenge? Who could eat the most, the fastest? I don't know. I can't hide it. There's no point in hiding it. I love this comic. It's everything I've discovered that I kind of want in modern books. So few modern comic books interest me, and that's on me. I'm not blaming anybody, but the wild abandon and fun and adventure and balls that some comics used to have back in the 90s when I was a kid just don't seem to exist in any of the major publishers. Now, I'm also kind of a hypocrite saying that because I don't read most of those, but nothing about them makes me want to pick them up. And the few that I do pick up, very few of those actually maintain my interest. So, I mean, I'm a nobody. Who cares what I think? I'm just a guy talking about what I think. This has like the adventure, the drama, the violence, the payoff, the subtle characterization that makes you like a guy, even though he's kind of the monstrous villain of everything. It's just all there. And it kind of sucks because it's obviously going to be very finite, but not every comic series needs to go on endlessly for 3,000 issues. There's no point in that. You just lose your steam. And then is it better to end the thing on a high rather than drive it into permanence where it becomes irrelevant and a former shadow of it's a shadow of its former glory is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. As long as Kirkman and Otley and crew are loving it and having fun, I will collect the shit out of this forever. So that's all I got. I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.